How's life? I'm having lots of requests from psychology students as to what are my tips to become a good therapist. Thank you for the immense honor of considering me a good therapist. The truth is, I don't think anybody is ever finished in that sense. We're always working on it, working hard on it to become as good as possible. When I finished my university degree, and in Spain, that's where I got my university degree, it's a 5-year degree, and then I did 3 years of postgraduate simultaneously as I was studying. I felt that I had finished university like James Bond with a license to kill, because I didn't really feel prepared to engage in any clinical work. Our trade is not a trade that you learn in books. It's a trade that you learn from living life, and you learn it also from engaging with other therapists and other people that deal with life intensely in a very direct way, in a very in a way that you feel that you really belong there, that you really care about it, that you're really engaged with it. So I would say that if you want to be a good therapist, you have to be well lived, you have to be a seasoned person, you have to have had lots of experiences, and it's very good that you understand what they mean. You give them a meaning, you give a sense to your own life. What we learn at university are classifications, different ways of listening, different ways of looking at things, theories, and a number of techniques. They are all good and useful tools. However, if we do this without understanding what our position is, we're going to give a very disintegrated view to our patients. We need to have a very clear position of who we are and what meaning we give to life, so that we don't feel threatened by other people's points of view, so that we can listen without judgment, so that we can listen with an open mind. Listening is essential. Listening respectfully to your client is essential. And also having immense respect for yourself, so that you don't feel threatened by their differences or by their fears. So it's essential to know who you are and to know who is in front of you and what they need. There are many currents, there are many different schools of thought. Why are they alive? Because they're clearly viable. They are something that is useful, at least for a group of people. But if you want to be a good therapist, I suggest that you learn them all and you apply them according to who is in front of you and what that person needs, because we cannot adjust the client to our school of thought. That would be being dogmatic. We have to adjust our schools of thought to help the client or patient we have in front of us. I really don't know whether to use the word client or patient. I don't really care. I mean person. So ours is not a trade of being immensely intellectual. You have to be intellectual. It's not a trade of being incredibly professional. You have to be professional all the time. That is, you're always working for your patient's growth, not for yours, not for your own. Ours is a trade of being intensely human and authentic, and being open to whatever happens during the session, with boundaries that are clearly set. I do suggest that if you have the fabulous opportunity of going through analysis, psychoanalysis, take it. I've had more than 30 years of psychoanalysis. There was a lot to fix. There still is. But I wouldn't stay there. It's one of those places that is good to go to. It's good to learn all the psychoanalytic theory, because otherwise you just cannot discriminate why this group of symptoms that is exactly the same in two people means completely different things. You're just trapped in the appearance of the difficulties your patient is suffering. You have to go deeper into the meaning. But then it's important to forget it and to embark in an adventure with your patient. So if you're at university, go learn a lot, study hard, and finally become your own person, become your own therapist. And remember that your patient needs you to be open-minded, available and non-judgmental, but to have plenty of common sense when it comes to remembering the practical consequences of what we do, think and are. I hope that's useful to some extent. I do understand it's very sort of in the air, but it's hard to put into a nutshell all the things I've learned in about 35 years. So it will be good to see you next week.